Welcome to the RISM International Schools YouTube channel.
SDG goal number 5. Achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Fight these issues. Let's discuss about SDG goal number 5. Gender equality. Gender equality is a critical component of sustainable development goals. The aim of this goal is that every individual enjoys equal rights and opportunities. To achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls, why does it matter? Women and girls make up the half of the world population and therefore also the half of its potential. What do we need to do?
For further discussion, let's meet the dynamic personality, Mugdha Sardeshpande ma'am, a hometown hero from Pune, whose journey from choosing arts after 10 to becoming a additional commissioner in income tax is truly inspiring. With a heart for humanity, she delved into economic research focusing on empowering women with self-help strategies. Hailing from a modest middle-class background, Mugdha ma'am broke barriers by joining the IRS in 2009. Imagine her Marathi medium education, 16 months of intense training, UPSC All India rank 165, and her first posting in vibrant Gujarat. A journey filled with challenges. She thrives on engaging with the younger generation, urging everyone to forge their own path. Join us in unraveling the fascinating narrative of Mugdha ma'am. Now, without further delay, let's navigate through these questions together, seeking not just answers but a deeper understanding of the pathways to empowerment and change. Thank you, Mugdha ma'am, for your valuable time. So, before we dive into our questions, let's understand the several aspects like sexism, its type, several acts, and controversy. Ma'am, when we think about the Sustainable Development Goal 5, could you share your thoughts on why it's crucial and how achieving gender equality into broader global development?
We have to understand that Sustainable Development Goals, they are adopted by the United Nations member states, and this is agenda for 2030. These are the goals which society wants, which we want for a peaceful or prosperous world. And gender equality is a very crucial goal among that. See, what is gender equality? It is the equality of both the sexes, of both the genders. And what we mean is that we should get both the genders, they should get an equal opportunity, okay, for employment, for education, for healthcare, so that they are able to realize whatever the potential they have. So this is the gender equality. And why it is crucial? Because gender equality, it is complementary to all other goals. As you have known, the other goals like no hunger, no poverty, or to have better cities. So for all these goals, gender equality is complementary. Unless you achieve gender equality, you cannot have a poverty-free society. So I feel gender equality is really important and it is a crucial aspect of it.
Building on that, in a more practical sense, how does SDG 5 impact the daily life of the people globally?
As we see, there are deep-rooted inequalities in our society. If we see the education field, the literacy level among women is or among girls is at a lower level globally. If we see the employment scenario, there is a gender pay gap. There is a concept which is called gender pay gap. For the same amount of work or for the same level of work, the women are getting the lower pay than the men. So this is the way we see that the gender inequality is deep-rooted in all the societies. So unless we address this concern, then it will not improve the daily lives of all the people. So we have to make sure that the educational opportunities they are freely available to the members of both the genders. The employment opportunities, there is no gender pay gap. For the same level of work, both the men and women, they should get the equal level of work. So this is how it will help our daily interaction.
Sexism is prejudice or discrimination based on one sex and gender. Ma'am, when we talk about sexism, what comes to your mind and how do you see it playing out in our everyday interaction?
When you say sexism, as you have rightly said, it is the prejudice or our thinking that one sex is better than another. And then that leads to a lot of consequences. Like it may lead to gender-based violence or some discrimination in various sectors. And you can see it happen in our everyday lives. See, firstly we have to understand what is the difference between sex and gender. See, what is sex? It is the physiological or biological differences between two sexes. Now what is a gender? Gender is because of a different sex, you are expected to play a different role, or it is expected by society that your behavior, your attributes, your thoughts should be different. So having a difference because of different sex is something which is acceptable, but because of the gender stereotypes or gender thinking or gender roles, you are expected to play different role. That is, I feel, something which should not be accepted. See, if you are saying, see, there are two pictures which are shown. One is shown that of a driver and one is shown that of a nurse. And you are shown two pictures of a boy and girl, or a man and woman. And if people are asked to match, this experiment, it was conducted in some foreign university. And about 80% of people, they matched woman with a nurse and driver with a man. So, is it that the physiological or biological differences are leading to different roles? No. Women can be better drivers, men can be better nurse, or they can be better chefs. But our society, our upbringing is such that we are made to think that women are better or they are fit for certain roles or certain jobs. So, when we say sexism, so that is the thing which comes to my mind. And add to that, we have all sorts of like Bollywood things which says like, if you say, you must have listened to this act, to cheese a badi hai mast mast. So this is something like you are objectifying a woman, which is not allowed and which is not acceptable. Or I just remember that there was a song in Bollywood that the hero is saying to heroine, तू हाँ कर या ना कर तेरी मर्जी सोनिए हम तो तुझको उठा कर ले जाए. Now this is something I feel is not acceptable. When a woman, she has the right to say yes, no, whatever she wants. So you cannot say that whatever she is saying, but we'll just ignore. So this is a sexism. Because a man is saying that whatever you think, but we'll impose our will or wish upon you. So this should not happen. And for what we feel that gender equality is important.
On that, do you notice different types of sexism in our society and how do they show up in various contexts?
Yeah. I feel there are 2-3 types, or see, sexism, it can happen at individual level also and it can happen at societal level also. But majorly what I feel, there is something which is called as a hostile sexism, that in which a group of people, they think that they hate the members of other sex, and that leads to a little violent actions. This is hostile sexism. The other is something kind of a benevolent sexism. Here, the one group thinks that women are great, but they are fragile. They are just beautiful, and we need to protect them. So what they think, that they respect women, but they feel that they should be protected within their homes, within their families, or within a society. They should not be allowed to take their own decisions. Now this is also sexism. Though people respect women, but this is what I will call a benevolent sexism, and one is a hostile. So both these kinds of sexism, they are harmful for women. What women want is the right to decide for myself, what I want and what is better for me. So these are the, I think, we see in our daily lives.
Yes, the Sexual Harassment of Women Act is known as PoSH Act, was enacted in 2013 in India in terms of legal protection Ma'am, how does the Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act 2013 contribute to creating a safer workplace for women?
This act is a very important step or the right step in the right direction of creating safer workplace for women. If we just go into the history, it has its roots in there was a famous judgment, the case of Vishakha versus state of Rajasthan. So I will just give that background. There was a social worker named Bhavar Devi who was working, and she was working for the cause of stopping child marriage in some village in Rajasthan. But the local people, they were not very supportive of her action. Okay, see, child marriage is something which we should all prohibit, or they should not let happen. So Bhavar Devi was working towards that cause, and people in her village, they were not supportive of her action. And that time it led to they tried to attack her, they harmed her physically, emotionally. And this case, it was few of the NGOs who are working for women cause, they filed a petition in the Supreme Court. And what they asked is that the women, the Bhavar Devi who is working for state of Rajasthan, she had no safe workplace. Whatever she is working for the right cause, but she has no protection in terms of legal framework where she can work safely. So Supreme Court then gave guidelines which are known as the Vishakha guidelines in that judgment, and they are very helpful. For the first time, what is meant by sexual harassment, it was defined, Supreme Court defined, Honorable Supreme Court defined that. Secondly, what happened is, earlier it was a responsibility of an individual to protect yourself. If I am a woman, it's my responsibility to protect myself from whatever attack is there on me. Now it became the responsibility of that institution. If I am working in some institution, it is the responsibility of institution to provide a safe workplace for me. Thirdly, it stated that there has to be some mechanism, redressal mechanism, there has to be some committee which should be formed. And so these are some of the basic points of the judgment by Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Vishakha. And Act is, I think, it is the subsequent part, or it is mainly, it is in line with that whatever the guidelines are given. So the Act is in the very right direction. It gives you a safer workplace for women. Now if someone is trying to advance, or it is leading to any sexual advancement, then it is considered as an offense. There are mechanisms in which if a woman is facing certain issues, she can, every institution, it has to form a committee for redressal of such grievances. Prevention is given a more weightage rather than see if something happens and later it becomes difficult to give that woman a justice. So it's better if we try to prevent that incident. So I feel this is a very right step. And it is really helpful for a safer workplace.
Gender equality involves ensuring that men and women have equal rights, opportunities, and treatment in various aspects of life. But ma'am, the concept of gender equality often focuses on women, but should it be a shared concern among men as well? How do you see men contributing to this?
Great question. And I absolutely agree that this should be a shared concern. When we say gender equality, it does not mean that we are pitting men against women or women against men. See, this is a society, or we require, this is a goal which requires that both the genders should have equal ease of access to achieve their whatever are their potentials. So, as you said, though mostly because we have female, normally the female cases they are reported, but we have seen that there are few cases where the men have reported of being harassed by certain women or certain groups. And even when we say gender stereotypes, I feel some of our upbringing, some of our thinking on the society, it makes us to think in a certain way, and even the men are subject to that. Like again, I will give you the example This is a famous dialogue. Mard ko dar nahi. Now I feel this is a gender stereotype. Why? The men, they are equal part of our society, and there are instances, there are challenges that they face, and or sometimes when there are boys in our homes and if someone is crying, so उसकी माँ कहती है, अरे तुम लड़का हो, रो क्यों रहे हो? So this is again an example of stereotype which we face or in our daily lives. So we have to be away from all these stereotypes. That's what I would like to say, because as I said, when they have to face some challenges. Sometimes they are also under pressure. Sometimes they may also feel like crying, and it's perfectly okay if some boy is crying. Or sometimes it happens that some boy is he likes to do cooking and he's working in kitchen. And again some dadi or some bua or someone comes, "Arey, ladki ho kya? Kyun kitchen mein aa rahe ho?" So this is some kind of gender stereotype which men also face, because sometimes it may happen that boy he likes to do cooking or he feels like crying, and it's I feel perfectly alright. So but when we say that gender equality, so each, as I said, each individual should have equal right to express themselves. They should have equal ease of opportunities, so that whatever is their potential, they should be able to realize it. And that is the crux of gender equality. And this is not against men working against women or women against men. So that is the crux.
Sensitivity and controversy are crucial to approach these subjects with empathy. Ma'am, when discussing such sensitive topics, how do you navigate the potential controversies that might arise, especially in a public forum?
I personally believe that topics are never sensitive. Topics are always neutral. What can be sensitive is your opinion. It can be a biased opinion. So if someone is having an opinion which is a biased one, then it can lead to controversy. So the way to navigate is you should have an open discussion. You should understand both sides of the issue. You should discuss it freely. See, if someone is having another viewpoint, you should be able to accept it. Even it might happen that you don't agree with whatever another one is saying. So it might happen in a class. You both are having discussion with one your friend, and it might happen if you don't agree with whatever she is saying. But that doesn't mean that that should lead to fight. Whatever she is saying, you both can be true at your own positions. So the way to navigate is just having open discussion, able to accept the viewpoints of others, and more you discuss openly, more you discuss freely, more you try to explore the things and try to understand. Say any one thing or any one topic, it can have n number of viewpoints, and it is possible that you will see only the one which is facing you. There can be something which is just at the next side, but you are just not able to face it. So it's better that you understand all the sides of that subject, you open it freely, you accept, and then that topic, I think, as I said, the topic can't be sensitive. So unless you have if you have unbiased opinion, then the free discussion is the way to go.
Taking a closer look at our country, what practical steps do you think that can help in reducing gender inequality in India?
Steps, it can be, see, the legal steps, they are firstly already in place. The Constitution, Article 14, Article 15, it gives us right to equality, and there should be no discrimination. Our Constitution says that there should be no discrimination based on race, caste, gender, or any such kind of differences. And there are various laws which have been passed by government and which try to prevent or which try to promote the gender equality. But other than the laws or the legal framework, I think as a society we need to do a lot more. First, the thing should be the education. Effort should be made that the 12 years of education, okay, 12 years of education, continuous education and quality education, it should be provided to each child, irrespective of its gender, and effort should be made to end the child marriages. I feel this is the thing which we all should work upon. child marriages, it hampers the health, and it hampers that woman or even the male in all spheres of their life. So as I said, 12 years of continuous education it should be given. The second thing is there should be more employment opportunities. As we can see, just getting the education is one thing, but if we have more employment opportunities for women, then it helps them to earn something for themselves. It helps them in creating a say and employment opportunities, as well as a right over some economic resources. I think there is a movement or some law has been passed which says that whenever you get a property, I think there was an experiment which was conducted. I will just share that whenever new property is purchased, normally it is seen that property is purchased in the name of a male member. So in some village, they made an experiment that if that property is made in the name of that husband as well as wife, how it affects the overall status of that lady in the family and in the society. And the results of that experiment were very encouraging. See, once you have some ownership or some property, some resources, it also will help that woman to have access to that resource. She will have a dignified life. She will have a more say in that family. So these are some of the things. And third and last thing is, I would say, the change in our mindset. So that is a thing which will start from home. And so education, having access to economic resources, and change in the overall mentality of the society. These are the three things we should work on.
Work life, where career ambition meets family dreams. Achieving a harmonious balance between work and family is a challenge that many individuals face in today's world. On a more personal note, ma'am, there's often this perception that working women may neglect their families. Being on a such higher rank and responsibility, with your experience, how do you see women effectively balancing their personal and professional lives?
I will answer your question, but before that, I must say that, I talked about gender stereotypes, and I have seen the gender stereotypes, they are in the minds of everyone. It doesn't mean that you are educated or you are in a very high position. It means you are away from the gender stereotypes. So I just remember that I think Priyanka Chopra, she was asked such question in some interview, and I really liked her answer. What she said was, balancing family with career, these kinds of questions, they are asked only to women. We never ask these questions to male members. If there is a male CEO, is a male businessman who is handling the business empire, or there is a male officer, then the question never comes up, how do you manage family with your position? Whenever a woman comes, then you make firstly some remarks are made about her looks, then you think about how she might be managing her family. So it's not about the question as such. It's like it's ingrained in our minds that looking after kids or looking after family is a responsibility of a woman itself. So with that mindset comes a question, how do you manage family and career? So sadly it's true also. In most of the families, especially in India, I don't know about globally, but family is a primary responsibility of women. So the question is very valid, and I would love to answer that. But still, I must say there is a gender stereotype also, which is again there. So coming to managing family and work life, the important thing is there has to be a shared responsibility, and also woman has to accept that family. You have to give importance to your family, but then certain times there comes a time where you have to challenge yourself also, and you have to create a support system which will be helpful for your family so that you can conquer the world. So I will just give you my own example. I was posted in Gujarat, and my child was around 5-6 months old, my daughter. And at that time, we had been transferred from one station to another station. And I was on maternity leave, and I had just to join the office. So I was assigned a posting order, and which was a little heavy work duty kind of job. So it required a lot of traveling, it required a lot of long hours of duty, it required a lot of pressure in that job. So before joining, everyone suggested me that because now my daughter is very small, it's better that you go and request that I want a lighter posting. And you can just, they will accept it because your daughter is small. And firstly, even I thought okay, that's the right way to do. Even my parents suggested okay, it's better you look after your child first. And firstly, I thought yes, I should do it. See, always because we are brought up in a society in which we are made to think that yes, looking after a kid is our primary responsibility, and it is. I don't deny that. But then on the second thought, even my colleagues suggested, and many people, almost everyone suggested that you go and look out for some lighter duty job. And but on the second thought, I just thought, what do I want as a lady, as an officer, and in my career? What do I want? Do I want this, accept this position or not? Then the answer came yes, I want to do it. Then is it possible that I can look after my child well, and then I can accept this position also? What are the possible actions that I can do? Then I started looking after that. I created a support system. I discussed with my husband, I discussed it with my parents, my in-laws. And thankfully they were all supportive. They said yes, if you really want to do, you want to accept that tougher position, you can accept, we are ready to help you out. So then we created a support system for our own. And that helped. So the point was, see, normal reaction of any society is you just accept that family is your primary responsibility, and after accepting family or after looking after family, whatever you can do, only do that much. But I think women need to come out of that. See, there is a society which is ready to help, and I must say this because somehow we also have that bias that no one will come. But from my experience, I can say that family is ready to share the responsibility, and you need to ask for help. Like, I really want to appeal to all the women. Many times what happens, women only think that no one will come to my help, no one will look after my kids, why should I go, why should I work, why should I go to different station or anything, whatever is your challenge. But what happens is, unless we ask for help, no one will help you out. So I think that is a lesson which even I learned. So I asked for help from my family. I created a support system. I asked for help from my office. I told them because my daughter is very small, I may need some little breaks in office, some flexible time. And actually they were very happy to help. They said if you are ready to accept this position, if you can do justice, then we all are ready to help. So it comes from that you have to ask for help, the society also helps, family helps, everyone chips in. And it's not that they are not ready to do it. The family is also happily ready to do it. But then it should be a open discussion. That it should be a family discussion. Okay, she wants to do something, whether the husband will do it, what work will everyone do at home, what work even the small children can do. I think if the mother is working, everyone needs to chip in, and that creates a very healthy atmosphere, and that helps actually. So that's my response, that you can very effectively manage your family and work pressure and whatever the work is there. Because when I was posted, I had to travel a lot, I had to work for long hours, I had a lot of work pressure, but those 2 years, I really could contribute very effectively, and I never regretted my decision of accepting that position. So that was the best part.
Further, moving on political concept, empowering every impression of women's strength in every stand. Recently, as you have been involved in election duties, how do you pursue strategies concerning of involvement in women in Indian politics? And what impact do these strategies seem to have on election outcomes?
I think women have, if you see the political scenario, women have come a long way. See, the voting right, it did not come automatically to women worldwide. I'm saying about globally. Women had to fight for right to vote. If we see the history of right to suffrage, so again, that is an important concept of gender equality. That the women had to fight and get right to vote. There are many countries in which the women get right to vote very lately. I feel after 2000 also, there are 2-3 countries in which the women were given right to vote. So from this we have started, and if we see in India, I think the situation is actually encouraging. The Indian government, especially at the grassroots levels, if we see earlier the participation of women was not that much, but after the law being passed that 33% reservations being given to women at the local bodies, what I can see is that there are a lot of women who are handling these duties, who are occupying the important positions, and they are doing effectively. See, earlier what the impression was that women, they are just working as a rubber stamp. All the males or whoever is the husband, whoever is the father, he is taking decisions and they are just acting as a rubber stamp. But from my experience, what I have seen that is not true. Okay, and there is an empirical evidence also for that. Women have been contributing to our nation building, and just I will tell about one experiment that. This hypothesis, why I am telling about empirical things is, see, it is a data which we need to see. Just that our opinions might change, but if there is a data, it gives the validity to whatever we are saying. So there was an experiment which was conducted, and there are constituencies in which if the woman is elected as a representative, and if a man is represented, so what kind of development works are different? Just to check whether women are working as a rubber stamp or they are working on their own. An experiment was conducted. So if they are working as a rubber stamp, then the kind of works that is done by man or woman will be seen. If there is a difference which is observed, then we can say no, women are paying attention to different works. So such experiment was conducted and the results were very encouraging. It showed that in quite a lot of cases, women, they gave importance to works which are more important for women. Like they paid attention to the availability of water. Normally, if a man is elected, they paid more attention to the infrastructure, like roads or other infrastructure. If a woman is elected, they paid more importance to like availability of water, sanitation. So they did have the decision-making power and they did utilize it. So I can say that the women, whoever they are representing, the local bodies, they are doing it effectively. Now the situation is changing. They are having their say in the decision-making. Even if we see the percentage of women who are voting, that percentage has also increased. So there is large participation of women in the electoral process, and it's always better. Now we have a law which has been passed by government that even in the state assembly and even in the parliament, we'll be having 33% reservation for women. So I think the more we have a diversity at decision making, what matters is, see, the better it is if we have a diversity. The man, woman, even the people from various classes, from various backgrounds, if they are at the decision making power, they know what are actually the problems which are facing those communities, or which are the problems which are facing women, or the problems faced by other sections of society. So more is the diversity at the decision making body, it is always better. So I feel at Indian level, especially at the grassroots level, women are really participating in the elections. As representatives, they are working really well and they are working effectively for the cause of women as well as men and overall the development of the nation.
Community engagement for change provides resources for learners to better understand community engagement and how they may more effectively engage in their practice. Lastly, when we think about creating change, especially at the grassroots level, how can community engagement play a role at, well,
As I have discussed, community plays a very important role and at a lot of level. Firstly, society, community. It helps us in building our thinking actually process. Because when we are the kid is born and brought up in whatever surrounding, the community plays a very important role. If a child sees that a mother is given important role at the family level, if a child sees that the female, they are occupying important positions at the society level, their decisions, they do matter, or the child sees that some of the CEOs of whatever the companies where his parents are working, they are the women. I think that helps that child to know that men and women are equal. See, it happens that, as I said, because the root of all this is in that gender stereotyping. And gender stereotyping cannot change unless our societal or community thinking changes. And it's difficult to change actually. Again, I will just give you an example. That how our thinking process should change, and it should change at a community level. When I was posted in Gujarat itself, or I will just give you the recent example. I have actually many such experiences to share, but just thinking which one to share. So I will just give you a recent example. There were 3 new people who joined my office. One was a female staff and 2 were the male members. So I had to do their posting, which one that they should be assigned. So I was just thinking, and I had to keep one member for my office, and my office had the higher workload. So I thought whoever is the best among that, I wanted that for my office, and the other 2 I can assign to the office which have little lighter role, or which have little different role, I would say. So I just asked one of my staff that, because I had not interacted with all the 3 members, so I just asked my staff, okay, what do you think, which one we should choose? So he was a male member. His first reaction was, मैडम वो लड़की को मत लीजिए, वो दोनों लड़के उसमें से किसी को भी ले लीजिए आप. So I was like, क्यों, क्या हुआ? बोले नहीं, वो लड़की का कुछ ना कुछ प्रॉब्लम रहता है, वो रुकेगी नहीं ऑफिस में, इट्स बेटर हम कोई मतलब लड़के लोग को लेता है, तो इट विल बी बेटर. So then I told him, see, this is not the way we work. When I ask you who is better, then what I mean is, what are the educational qualifications? You just talk to them, what are their capacities, what are their interests, what are their problems. Has the girl told that she has a problem or some family problem, or she will need the flexible timing hours, or whatever other issues. So these are the biases which we all have in our mindset, and it comes up during such decision making things. So we need to create a society where we have to firstly confirm ourselves, or we have to accept that these are the biases we have. Each one of us have these biases. Then we have to accept, we have to then work upon it, and see, whoever, like I said, whoever finally we chose the female member only, but whoever is in the decision making power, he or she has to think, okay, we are just looking at the capacities of that person irrespective of the gender, and fostering this thinking in all our community will lead to the real gender equality. Because all other issues, as I said, at the community level, we need to have the widespread education, we need to create the better healthcare for all. Again, I would just say, there was again an experiment which was conducted. If there is a leftover food in the family, who is the person who is given that leftover? Or who is the person who eats that leftover? It is not that someone is forcing that person. But again, the experiment showed that in 80% of the households, it is the mother who eats the leftovers. Now, it is not that the male members are forcing her to eat, or the other members are forcing. But somehow the society or our upbringing or our thinking process is such that from generation to generation we have been actually that upbringing or that thinking process has been. Now we need the effort that this is not right and we need to change that. Now that is where I think the society will play an important role. Society needs to have this thinking, no, each one is an equal member, each one has a power in decision making. Whenever any decision is taken at a society level, men as well as women, they have their say, and the decisions of all of them are taken into account. And we need to have a role models in our society. I think there are many men members who actually support their women to work, to go outside. As I said, many men, like I have found that most of my bosses have been men, and I have seen that they are very helpful and they want you to grow. They want you to be in a topmost position. They want you to perform. And it's not that men are against women or they don't want to be in a better position. So this is a society which I think we all can help each other, and unless the society develops this feeling of openness and a better decision making and involvement of all, that is where the solution lies.
Feminism is a social movement advocating gender equality, challenging societal forms to empower women and promote inclusivity for all genders. Ma'am, turning our attention to the broader discourse, how would you define feminism and in what ways can a mutual and uniform approach to feminism to contribute to a more inclusive dialogue on gender issues?
Yes, as I said, feminism again, it is not fight against men and women. We need a society in which all are equal and all play an important role. They realize their potential, so that whatever they want to become, if a girl is there or a boy is there, whatever they want to become, they are given equal opportunity to realize their potential. And this is what I feel is the true definition of feminism. It's not about that, I read it somewhere, that women, see, empowerment doesn't mean that women have power over men. It is once they have power over themselves, the women, that is a real empowerment. So unless women have power over themselves, or whatever their decisions, over their kids or their family and their office, so unless they have the power over themselves, they are given the opportunity to have their say, express themselves, that is where the true feminism lies.
In closing, ma'am, what's one actionable step you would urge everyone to take for a gender equal world? And how does staying informed serve as the spark for meaningful change?
It's difficult to say what is the only one step. I would just say that if I have to say just one thing, then the most important thing that I would say no to violence. The first thing that I would urge each one of you to advocate, that no violence, no physical violence, no emotional or any kind of abusive thing that one should do. And then looking at a broader perspective, what I would say is for gender equality, what we need is that, as I have said, we need the action from home. If I have to tell kids at the societal level, as I said, we need 12 years of continuous education and no to child marriages. But if I have to say to kids, what is the one action that they should take is, I would ask all the kids that just see to it that your mothers or whoever are the female members in your family, they are eating the nutritious food like other members in the family. Whatever all of you are eating, the mother should also have the same thing. They are having the health checkups done, which are regularly, because I see that women, they neglect their health a lot. So the actionable step, I think, is a very small step that each one can do. That please make sure that the women in your family, respect you all will, but make sure that they eat proper food, they take care of their health, and they have a say in their family. Whatever the decisions of family are taken, so the decision of the female members, it might be a mother, it might be a dadi, it might be bua, whoever is there. So it should be an open discussion among family. So at family level, I would urge kids that pay respect to whoever are the women, and I think we can do these things.
End discrimination against women and girls. End of all violence against exploitation of women and girls. Eliminate forced marriages and genital mutilation. Value and pet care and promote shared domestical responsibilities. Ensure full participation in leadership and decision making. Universal access to reproductive health and rights.
Equal right to economic resources, property ownership, and financial services. Promote empowerment of women through technology. Adopt and strengthen policies and enforceable legislation for gender equality.
Achieve gender equality. Where empower all women and girls. We need to bridge the gap, lightening the way, empowering women, empowering tomorrow. Concluding our insightful interview with powerful reminder, and gender equality is the master key, unlocking the doors to success in SDG goal number 1, no poverty. SDG goal number 2, zero hunger. SDG goal number 3, good health and well-being. SDG goal number 4, quality education. SDG goal number 5, gender equality. SDG goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. SDG goal number 10, inequalities. And SDG goal number 16, peace, justice and strong institution. Let's collectively champion equality for a world where every goal is not just achieved but surpassed. Thank you, ma'am, for this impactful conversation.